Brett Bruton with USA here, Conrad Stunts on the camera. Hope everybody's been safe during our COVID-19 shutdown. One thing it's allowed me to do is do a little turkey hunting. I've enjoyed that. But what we're here today to talk about is GE lighting and outdoor lighting in particular. And in more particular is the floods, the outdoor floods. And so this will be a short refresher course for those that know GE. For those that don't, hopefully you'll get a little something out of this. And let's get at it. GE is the outdoor fixture plant is in Hendersonville, North Carolina. It's been in Hendersonville since the 50s, and I would invite any customer that would like to see a state-of-the-art plant to make a visit. We do have customer visits, and we encourage that. Plenty of engineers up there to wet your whistle. Plenty of people with field experience as well to tell you what has worked, and sometimes some things don't work. And so what we're going to talk about with these outdoor floods today is something that has worked very well. GE has been very successful with outdoor floods in the Carolinas and Virginia, more so in the Carolinas. Less floods are used in Virginia, but the evolution of GE's Evolve series floods has been well received by customers, and that's what we're here to talk about today. What GE first came out with what they called their EFH flood, and all GE products use what is called reflective optical technology on their LEDs. They do not use chip on board. These are discrete chips. They are just clustered. In this case, they're clustered, but it's not chip on board. And so they use discrete chips. And so the chips that we normally use, or GE normally uses, are Nichia. We used to use Cree. There were some political issues with that once Cree became a competitor for all the other manufacturers. So GE uses a Nichia chip. A secondary supplier is Philips. We use a Philips chip. So discrete Nichia chips. On the outside of these fixtures, this is die-cast aluminum, and we have an internal heat sink and cooling fins to dissipate heat from the chips, which is very important so the chip does not expire prematurely. Same thing with our smaller unit. GE has two size floods, EFH, EFM, and they go from anywhere from 100 watt equivalents to 1,000 watt equivalents. All right. So all of these fixtures have really not a power door. Again, I talked a little bit about evolution. We used to have a fixture. We still actually have some of these out in service. This is an actual power door. This is an EFNB with the driver actually attached to the power door. And this came from the old HID, high intensity discharge technology, with like high pressure sodium or metal halide, where you had to change out stuff all the time. So we thought, hey, this would be a good thing. Problem was, and is it became crowded inside here, and inside this cavity. It was a little bit of a problem. So with our new fixtures, or this particular fixture has been going since 2012. We've got a whole lot more room in our non-optical cavities. So it gives us a little bit. If I do have to get into this fixture, I have a little more room to manipulate things. So I will tell you this. We talked about chips. Let's talk about drivers. We've got GE makes their own drivers now, and they are they're rated for 120 volt to 277. If you need up to 340, you can get it. All right. So they are dimmable, and that is becoming more and more common with some of these more advanced photocells. They're dolly rated, and what I mean by that is if you have a 7-pin photocell receptacle, the driver it will readily accept dimming through that receptacle. If you've got in GE's case, what we call light grid system. It will accept data, the 7-pin receptacle. The driver will accept data from the 7-pin receptacle in the software that you might use to power that. Next, this driver is rated for, our standard is 6 kV, 3 KA, but we can go all the way to 20 kV and 10 KA. With we will use external drivers for that. And so we have a solution for you. I will tell you that 6 kV, 3 KA is in the Carolinas is all you need for 90% of our territory. We've got some highlighting studies has been done. We've got some highlighting areas in the Carolinas, and that's about 10% of what we have. So 6 kV, 3 KA is really all you need. Most of our distributors are stocking 10 kV, 5 KA. And that's what's going on mainly right now. So we talked a little bit about the PE receptacle. We're talking to a driver. So let's talk about that a little bit. GE standard receptacle now is a 7-pin receptacle. So these are my 3 normal pins. It will accept a standard $3 PE receptacle, 3-pin receptacle. However, we had GE years ago made the decision we're going 7-pin period. That's all we have on our fixtures now. And so the other 4 pins are your data pins. And so they can be wired depending on how you order your fixture. They can be wired into my driver. Okay. And by the way, this is a 6 kV, 3 KA driver with an external surge protector. So that gives me my 10 kV, 5 KA. Little aside there. So in other words, going back to our 7-pin receptacle, this is something we do as standard, and you can buy receptacles today that you can actually cut this fixture off in front of the meter if your customer is not paying its bill. So you have options here. We do recommend, talking about photocells, you're spending some pretty good money on an LED fixture. We do recommend long life photocells for these. Instead of a $3 photocell, maybe a $20 photocell that'll give you a little more lightning protection and a little more life. And your photocell is still your first line of defense for lightning. We're not fans of sensors for your photocells because you get reduced lightning protection without a photocell. Next, all of GE's floods have 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000 color temperature. Those are your options available. Most of what we've sold in the Carolinas has been 4,000. And I will tell you, this has been a really good product for USA and GE in the Carolinas. We have most of the business in the Carolinas with these 2 fixtures. And so we go from anywhere from 100 watts to 1,000 watt HID equivalent fixtures with these 2 fixtures. And again, in the 3, 4, and 5,000 color temperature. The photometrics for both of these fixtures, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let's stick with lumens for a second. We have a conversion chart that we've put together, and it's very handy. On this side is my HID, metal halide, high pressure sodium, HID lumens. Okay, so if you have a 250 watt high pressure sodium, you can look right here and determine what LED lumens you need. okay, and come over to the flood section here, the LED flood section, and see what lumens you need for 250 watt high pressure sodium. And for the smaller EFM fixture, we go up to basically a 400 watt metal halide equivalent with this. Now, I will tell you that Santee Cooper uses this as a 400 watt high pressure sodium equivalent as well. And so for our larger fixtures, or EFH fixture, we go from a 250 watt sodium up to 1,000 watt sodium cross. So we can provide you this chart for not only floods, but for any LED fixture, Cobra heads, anything, security lights. We have these charts for you. They are handy. Talk to your USA sales rep for that. Next, these fixtures come anywhere from 6x5 to 7x7 beam spreads, horizontal and vertical. Okay, and so we also have you can use these two fixtures here are using a trunnion mount. Okay, we also have slip fitters that can be mounted on top of a pole. One thing about that I'm thinking GE is the only one that has it. This is your slip fitter option right here. Okay, and how this works is all of the GE fixtures are fitted with 4 bolts on the bottom of the fixture. And how this works is I would take my trunnion off and I would install my slip fitter, and my pigtail would go through here, and this would go on top of my pole. I'd make up my connection, set these, and I would be done. So if you are a distributor, a GE distributor, stocking these lights, you could stock the trunnions, sell your customer the trunnions, and then if he wanted to convert them to slip fitters, that's fine. We have done that. You can order them as slip fitters as well. We also make a knuckle similar to this that fits on a wall. So I would have this here like so, and this would be a bracket attached to a wall, so you can wall mount these floodlights. So that's a pretty neat thing that you can convert. These fixture heads are the same whether they're trunnion mount or slip fitter. All right. So let's go back and let's talk about the inside here a little bit. All of these fixtures are IP66 rated, okay? And what do I mean by that? IP66 on the optical, IP66 in this cavity here. We are not IP66 rated in the photocell cavity because we don't need to be, okay? So how do we get this? We actually glue this flat glass over top our optical, and that gives us a hermetically sealed optical cavity. We obtained the IP66 rating on my driver compartment with a gasket right here. All right. This fixture is going to be mounted like so. Okay. To keep condensation out, we provide weep holes. And so, should condensation form, they perform well. You can get different length pigtails. So normally we can do toolless. This is not toolless entry. I need a standard nut driver for this standard entry. We can provide knobs here and do toolless entry. It's really not necessarily, you shouldn't need to be going into a flood. Okay, so I'm not providing you a terminal board in here. So you're normally gonna get a pre-wired pigtail to whatever standard that you do. We can do 3 and 4 wire. By the way, the driver is set up to handle a neutral and a ground tied together. Some manufacturers do not do that, do not have that capability. So if you've got a 2-wire system, there you go. If you've got a 3-wire system, there you go. And we can provide a 4-wire system. Nobody does that I've seen. I will tell you, so let's talk about IP66. What we mean by that, this is a layman's term. This is my redneck term for talking about IP standards. IP64 is I'm sprinkling water on this optical. IP65, I'm taking a water hose and I'm just spraying it on here. IP66 is I've got my pressure washer and I'm spraying it on here and I can't get any water intrusion. That's the layman's definition of IP. Okay, so that's your standard. I would like to talk about this is a die-cast aluminum housing. GE is pretty vertically integrated. Most everything is made in Hendersonville, North Carolina. We do not make the castings used to be made. The fixture castings used to be made there. That has been taken out and outsourced now today. So that has changed a little bit. So we're not totally vertically integrated like we used to be. Standard colors are dark bronze, black, gray, and white. All GE fixtures are rated for 3G. G meaning the acceleration due to gravity. 3 Gs like if you're a pilot in a plane. But basically in our world, if the wind's blowing, it's rated for 3 times when that pole is blowing, 3 times the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, 32.2 pounds per feet per second squared. I'm getting old. One of the things that I really like to harp on is 2 things really. One is GE goes by ANSI C136 as far as lightning strikes. As far as our surge protection, we go to the C136, not C62. That is something you all need to research, and it has to do with full lightning strikes and the number of lightning strikes, and it has to do with the whole fixture seeing that lightning strike, not with just the driver being tested to that. Okay, so GE does a full fixture test, and we meet that. One other thing is GE has taught us that we really believe in flat glass. And when I say flat glass, I'm talking flat glass. And why am I saying that? Flat glass has proven to be, due to a study at Virginia Tech University, to not have near the dirt depreciation that that the glass that just cover that LED package. Okay, so a regular LED, lots of manufacturers LED has a 3% dirt depreciation factor per year. A flat glass will only have 1%. So you add, that's cumulative. So you add that up, that can be significant for you. So we really like to talk about that, and we can provide that study for you should you need it. The things that I failed to tell you about, and first and foremost is our weight. The weight of these fixtures. Our 1,000-watt equivalent, sodium equivalent fixture weighs 35 pounds. A lineman can absolutely handle this fixture, okay? Some of our competitors, especially in the early days, would double that. The EFM up to 400-watt sodium fixture weighs 25 pounds. Certainly well within what a lineman is used to with HID fixtures to handling. So a big point of emphasis that I forgot, and I apologize for that. Secondly, is we need to mention our GE's warranty, and GE's warranty is standard, it's 5-year. However, we do 10-year warranties, and so actually lots of our distributors require that of us, and so we'd like to point that out to you. It could be job specific, it could be customer specific, it could be distributor specific. One other thing I'd like to refocus on a little bit is, if you are a customer or a standards engineer within a municipal or co-op or an investor-owned utility, and you're writing specs for your utility, you really need to do some research on C62, ANSI C62 versus ANSI C136. C62 is striking it, lightning striking one time on that driver. C136 requires 40 strikes, and it requires it to be the whole system, the whole fixture, and it's over an interval. Okay, so it's much more strict. And think about it. You're not buying a driver from me. You're buying a fixture, a system from me. So make sure that you want to specify C136 on in your specs. And then one final thing is GE is doing field adjustable modules, FAMs, okay, field adjustable modules now, and we look to be having that pretty soon. I'm not sure that will take off. We have those in our Cobra heads now. I'm not sure that will take off. We can adjust and set. Field adjustable modules allows you to do a percentage of your lumens. So if I'm good for 38,000 lumens on a high pressure, on a high pressure sodium 1,000 watt cross, I can at say 11 o'clock dim that down to 60% with a field adjustable module. Okay, you can do that with some of the smarter photocell technologies now, and some of the other software that's out there. So I'm not sure that the field adjustable module will take off in floods, but they're looking at that. We have that in other outdoor fixtures, and so be on the lookout for that. One thing I will tell you is that didn't work out too good. One more try. Turkey season, gang. Have a good day.